The night was thick with an oppressive darkness as I pulled into the desolate gas station, its flickering fluorescent lights casting eerie shadows that danced menacingly across the cracked pavement. The only sound that accompanied me was the distant hum of the highway, as if the world itself had abandoned this forsaken outpost. I parked my car beside a rusting pump, its numbers barely visible through the grime and neglect that clung to its surface. The air was heavy with an acrid scent, a strange mixture of gasoline and something more sinister that sent shivers down my spine. Reluctantly, I stepped out of my car, the chill of the night wrapping around me like a cold, unseen hand. The silence was deafening, broken only by the creaking of the ancient sign that swung ominously above me, its rusty chains protesting with every gust of wind. I approached the gas station's dimly lit convenience store, the flickering lights inside revealing a space frozen in time. Shelves lined with expired goods and dust-covered knickknacks seemed to stare back at me, their neglected existence adding to the growing sense of unease that gnawed at the edges of my sanity. As I wandered through the narrow aisles, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The surveillance cameras, long abandoned and covered in cobwebs, only added to my paranoia. The sole cashier's counter stood empty, the register covered in a thick layer of dust, as if time had stopped for this forsaken place. I made my way to the restroom at the back of the store, a flickering neon sign overhead barely illuminating the grimy door. The room was small and suffocating, the cracked tiles on the floor seemingly eager to swallow anyone who dared to step inside. The mirror above the sink reflected a distorted version of my own fear-stricken face, and for a moment, I hesitated to look into my own eyes. As I exited the restroom, a sudden chill ran down my spine, and I felt a presence lingering in the shadows just beyond the reach of the flickering lights. I quickened my pace, my footsteps echoing through the empty store, but the feeling of being pursued only intensified. Back in the main area, I was startled to find that the shelves had shifted, rearranging themselves in a bizarre pattern that made no logical sense. Panic set in as I realized that something was dreadfully wrong, that this gas station held secrets darker than the night that enveloped it. The entrance door creaked open behind me, and a bone-chilling gust of wind swept through the store. I turned to see a figure standing in the doorway, obscured by the shadows. A guttural whisper echoed through the silence, chilling me to the core. "You should have never come here." With a surge of terror, I bolted towards the exit, the once familiar layout of the gas station now a confusing labyrinth. The lights flickered more violently, casting grotesque shapes on the walls. The ominous figure pursued me, its voice growing louder and more distorted with every step. I burst through the entrance door, stumbling into the cold night air. My car stood alone under the feeble glow of the flickering lights, and I fumbled for my keys, glancing nervously over my shoulder. The figure emerged from the gas station, its features still hidden in the darkness. As I peeled out of the gas station, leaving the nightmare behind, the figure vanished into the shadows. The haunted gas station became a fading memory in my rearview mirror, but the terror it instilled in me lingered like a stain on my soul. I knew, deep down, that I had stumbled upon something unholy that night, a sinister secret that the gas station held within its crumbling walls.